As you know, today is National Roller Coaster Day, and I want to talk about two roller coasters that I've never really ridden on, and they're actually both wooden coasters. And these are the coasters that, although they're in a park that's like really far off from me, um, it's if I had to pick which of the two roller coasters I would love to ride on the most, for as great as all of them are, like like what was that one ride like in New Jersey that's very similar to Accelerator, but oh, King the Ka, like King the Ka. What's the other one? The Millennium Force, Magnum X or Magnum 2000, whatever it's called, and there's that other roller coaster that I saw, and I forgot which city it's on. I think it's called the Silver Star. And yeah, there's plenty, dude. There's plenty. Even some of the different versions of the what is it? The Thunder Mountain Railroad. I would love to ride them all as well. So there's just like there's like a number of really great coasters that I've never ridden, that I've never wanted, that I really wanted to ride on. And you know, Cedar Point is definitely a park, and it's in Ohio. That I remember I had this talk with Tristan, and you know, it's funny because I think we like I wanted to plan something where because him and I are really big on coasters, right? So like I'm trying to remember this correctly. I think we had a plan one time to want to go to Cedar Point, and that was in Ohio. And so um, we would plan like a weekend trip or something. We would stay in a hotel that's not too far off from the park, and then you know then during our stay, which would be like the next day, we would go to Cedar Point, ride all the coasters. I think it's right by the beach, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, if I'm trying to remember correctly about Cedar Point, it's right by the beach. And so, yeah, I think I remember. I'm trying to remember correctly that I brought up this plan about wanting to go to Cedar Point, so we would be in Ohio for like maybe like 3 days or so, and then the second day we would spend just all day at Cedar Point, just riding all the coasters we could, and then going to the beach after, I guess, and after that, just on the third day, we just do whatever, and then fly back home. You know what I'm saying? But obviously that did not happen. But it was just for entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Because again, me and Tristan are really huge on roller coasters, and there was this other coaster I wanted to ride on in Japan, and I forgot what it's called, but literally inside the mall, and I think it's somewhere on the third floor, I think, and then it goes up and goes around the mall, and just around downtown, wherever it is, where the mall is, and that was just one of the coolest coasters, and I wanted to ride that. So again, there's just so many roller coasters that I wanted to ride on, and I just thought like of the two that I wanted to pick for today's topic, for the sake of National Roller Coaster Day, I would pick, as you can see in these thumbnails right here, for this podcast, it's both the Beast and Son of Beast. Yes, they're both wooden coasters. In the background, it shows actually some clips, and even on the intro itself, Son of Beast, roller coaster that was closed in 2012 due to structural issues. And I heard that somebody suffered a head injury in that ride, which is really sad to hear. That's one of the reasons why that ride had to close down for good. It was in 2012. It was replaced by another roller coaster called Banshee. Um, Sounds familiar. I forgot what the ride looks like, but I think it's like a suspended coaster or something like that. But yeah, these are the two coasters I wanted to ride on. As you can see, what I'm showing right now is actually the Beast. It's really cool. And also the Son of Beast. Um, just after watching the videos were like of the POV versions, I remember in 2020, you know, when during the shutdown, me and my family would be watching, over the weekends, or just any day, like we would be watching a whole bunch of, I think it was on the weekends, yeah, where we'd be watching like a whole bunch of roller coasters, like POV versions, or where people are just riding. It was just so much fun. I remember at one point in time, like when it got to like the to the point where it was becoming too many to watch, I fell asleep one time, and it was just so funny because even my sister was like, "Hey, wake up!" I'm like, "Oh," because I think it was like around 11 o'clock at the time. But yeah, so yeah, these are the two coasters I wanted to pick for today's topic, for the sake of National Roller Coaster Day, because it is the 16th every year on August 16th. It's National Roller Coaster Day. So last year, because it was on a Friday, it is National Roller Coaster Day. Regardless of what day it is, National Roller Coaster Day will always fall on the 16th. And I remembered going to Knott's Berry Farm twice, or maybe like 3 times, I think. No, actually, yeah, twice on the 16th. And both of those days were Friday, 2019 and 2024. In 2019, while I still had the chest issue at the time, I I still bothered to go to Knott's. I remember having the X-ray that same day. And I left my dump like around, what was it, 2:30, and just to get an X-ray and to see what was going on in my chest, and they found nothing eventually. They would have called me, but nothing happened. So nothing showed up in the results. And then I remember going to Knott's. No, actually, I went to Party City first to buy that sign that supposedly would have used for the cut the tape thing. And speaking of Party City, it's no longer around. It's one of the stores that closed, and I wanted to buy something for was it? I saw that one of the IT techs in my dump had a, what is it, like a thing called On Air. That's what I was trying to look for. So any podcast that I'd be doing, and for the future, I may be doing some like what Charles from Dreamers Pro is doing. I may do some videos like that where it shows that he's on air, and it has the Dreamers Pro like artwork in the background and all that as he was doing his podcast. So yeah. So as I continue on with this topic, I would ride these two wooden roller coasters because they're both very, very awesome, and obviously they are better than Ghost Rider. They are longer. And for the Beast, as I look at it, it's got more of that Jaguar-esque, Thunder Mountain Railroad-esque kind of feel. It starts out like kind of like in Ghost Rider, where you would go down a turn, a little hill before you go up the hill. So, like just like that. Same with the Son of Beast, where you go down. Although it's got more of a Ghost Rider-esque feel, or similar to Ghost Rider, where for the Son of Beast, I mean that you'd be you'd be going down and making a wild turn, and for the case of the Son of Beast, you go down a hill, it's kind of steep, and then you go down a wild turn, and then next thing you know, it'll lead you all the way to the hill. And so, and that's a pretty damn tall hill. It's said to be 218 feet tall, tallest wooden roller coaster in the world. and it's in the and both of these coasters, the wooden coasters, are in the park called Kings Island. I forgot where it was. I'm assuming it's in Ohio, but when I hear Kings Island, it sounds very familiar, but something tells me it's in Ohio, but I could be wrong about that. But anyways, I would ride the Beast and the Son of Beast. The Beast has got more, like I said, a Jaguar-esque feel, and also a Thunder Mountain-esque feel in terms of like this length, you know, where you're just like after the first drop, you're just basically it just becomes chill the rest of the way, where you're just going through like these turns that are not so intense and all that. The Jaguar was like that. The turns are just, you know, they're not that intense. They're just pretty chill. There's maybe a couple of them that are like a little intense, but you know, for the most part, it just becomes like it's just become a really chill ride, like a really chill roller coaster. That's the impression I'm getting with riding the Beast. Although it's one of the longest coasters, it's you know, it's like going through a bunch of trees, and where it has that feel of a Thunder Mountain esque, you know, feel of riding the roller coaster is, you know, you're going down these trees and it feels like, you know, you're pretty much going off the park or whatever it is. That's what I'm getting out of for the Thunder Mountain, because you're pretty much just going around like a bunch of boulders, and you know, at one point it seems like you're out of the park and you're still in the park. And the tunnels as well. You go through like 2 tunnels, and that's part of why I feel like it has that Thunder Mountain-esque feel, because of the tunnels. And although this ride, the Beast, has 2 climbs, that's where it gives me the Jaguar feels. And after the second climb, it's basically the same thing as Jaguar, where after you go up, you basically turn and you go down. But the hill's not that steep, unlike in the first one, as you can see right here on the image, where the drop is pretty steep, like a Ghost Rider. But as you can see, the second one's right there. You know, ironically enough, you know, after you go on the first, you can see the second one, like right at the top. You know, as it transitions now to the Son of Beast, which I will talk about in a minute. That the second climb is more reminiscent of Jaguar. But yeah, I'll definitely ride the Beast. You know, just for the sake. I mean, it may be different riding it, but of course I know it would be a little more intense. Some people say it's rough, but it's a little more intense than Jaguar. But the impression that I'm getting after watching, you know, the POV video is that, you know, you'll get it just seems pretty chill for the most part. So let's get to the Son of Beast now. This one is definitely more intense, and especially after watching that video, and if I have to make the comparison between that and the Beast, this one is way more intense, although unfortunately it closed down due to the accident of somebody suffering a head injury, and also with structural problems. And a lot of people say that ride was just way too rough, and some may argue that it's rougher than the Beast. And judging from watching those 2 videos, you know, of both of those roller coasters, the Beast doesn't, I mean, just looking at it, it doesn't seem as rough as the Son of Beast. The Son of Beast looks way more intense, dude. This one actually has more of a Ghost Rider feel than the Beast, because of the fact that it's got these really wild turns, and just, I mean, although like after the climb, there's only one climb on this ride, which is a really tall one at 218 feet. So after going up, you know, you're basically going in a turn, and then you're going down to where you see the loop, but you don't go directly in the loop yet. By the way, is this the only roller coaster that actually features a loop? I'm trying to remember. So according to my research, it is not the only wooden roller coaster with a loop, but it is the first one, you know, with a loop. The first wooden coaster with a loop. But it was removed in 2006. I actually watched another POV video of this particular ride where it did not show the loop. Now, why it was removed, maybe some people felt really dizzy as they were experiencing it, which is probably why I would say it was removed in 2006. But having the loop there was actually is what makes the ride more entertaining and just more thrilling in that sense. It just brings a different feel of a wooden roller coaster. Especially since that does have a loop. Considering this does look. I mean, it's a traditional wooden roller coaster like Ghost Rider. And to have a loop like this, which is even it's the only loop, and it's a pretty big loop. It's pretty awesome to have. It makes a wooden roller coaster like Son of Beast, although it's closed permanently in 2012, an awesome one. But then there's other roller coasters now that have I'm talking about wooden coasters that actually have loops. I remember riding Twisted Colossus in Six Flags. And that's a dual coaster, and that one actually goes upside down. It goes through like several inversions, and although there is no actual loop, it does have those inversions where you go upside down, and that's what it makes a coaster like that so damn cool. And but there is no loop on that one. It's just inversions where you go upside down for like a few times, and this is what makes an experience for a coaster like that pretty awesome, especially if it's a wooden coaster. So I actually enjoyed riding it. So I rode the older one, and that one, to be honest, it's chill, but it's kind of just a little slow. This one was definitely faster and way more intense. But yeah, as for the Son of Beast, it is it's much it's much more intense than the Beast. Between the two, I'd probably ride Son of Beast. No, actually, I would definitely ride Son of Beast way more, because I might get that Ghost Rider / Apocalypse-esque kind of feels, on a roller coaster like that, and especially because it's so big that I think I would I might just have the chills just coming back. The chills? Nah, I needed the thrills. You know what I'm saying? But whether it's super rough or not, I don't know. As long as I get the experience, it will feel great. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I would really love to ride both of these coasters the most. If I had to pick the two coasters I wanted to talk about that I wanted to ride the most, which would be, ironically, both the Beast and Son of Beast. So, hopefully I get to, a chance to ride, those two. I mean, if I ever go to Kings Island, I don't know if I'll ever go, but just imagine if I do, I would definitely line up for both of these coasters. That's the first two rides. You know what I'm saying? And ironically, they are in the same park. So, yeah, that's all I want to touch on, man. Happy National Roller Coaster Day to all the coaster fanatics, including me and Tristan, and whoever else loves roller coasters. I think Neil as well. So yeah, and you guys let me know what you think. Do you like these coasters or not? What is your favorite roller coaster of all time, if you are a coaster fanatic? All right, peace out. Enjoy the rest of your night.